Has this ever happened to you? Your team's even with the enemy, but all of a sudden, one of your teammates decides to Uber Eats the urn to the enemy, giving them a delicious meal of souls, causing a snowball. No, an avalanche that ends up losing you the game. What the fuck? What if I told you there's a few hidden rules about the urn? In this case, old mate Warden didn't know the secret rules, and as a result, they've just given the enemy team a slam dunk. There's also a few sort of super secret high level urn strats. I'll talk about these at the end, so pay attention. Before we talk about the hidden urn rules, I'm going to talk about the urn itself. The urn is an objective that spawns at 10 minutes and every 5-minute interval afterwards. As of making this video, the urn gives a team 700 souls, with an additional 230 souls per minute of the game. This means the first 10-minute urn is worth 3,000 souls, with an additional 1150 per 5 minutes. When captured, 60% of the urn's value is shared immediately to the team, with the other 40% floating out after. The person who delivered the urn will also get a 25% bonus on souls and an ability point. The entire team will also get a golden statue buff at random. Keep in mind, the urn also has a comeback mechanic, giving the losing team extra souls depending on how far they are behind, meaning that the urn can help snowball and bring games back. It's always good. Not only does it give more souls to the team that's behind, but when there's a 10% difference in souls, the urn drop-off location will appear favoured towards the behind team. This will only happen after the first urn. What? Oh, it's over there. If only I read a certain script. While carrying the urn, the courier gains a little bit of sprint speed, 2 if the team's ahead, and 6 if the team's behind. However, they can't take teleporters or ziplines, and are silenced and disarmed. If the courier gets spotted by minions or the enemy team while running, they'll be revealed on the minimap, and after 25 seconds, they'll be revealed regardless of where they are. One last thing to keep in mind is that a heavy melee or any stun will force you to drop the urn, so be careful not to get hit. So that was a bit of an info dump, but to summarize it really quickly, the urn gives a lot of souls, it can get a team that's ahead to snowball more, and give a team that's behind a way to recover. Because of this, it's going to be highly contested. So, if it's so contested, you might ask, why isn't it being run off cooldown? Well, there's 2 reasons. Reason 1, your team sucks.
It's about time you guys came bottom. I mean, they've only been here for the past 37 years. Like, I have no clue what you guys have been doing.
Here comes the boom! Yeah, I'm gonna go farm for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Or the more plausible reason, the risk is greater than the reward. As you've seen with the inting at the start of the video, you can't just do the urn whenever you want. If you do, you risk handing the enemy team the goodie bag of souls residing in the urn. So, when can you run the urn? Although this isn't an exhaustive list by any means, 2 nice rules for snowballing with the urn are when you have a numbers advantage, so this could be after a favourable team fight or if one of your lanes just decided to lock in. With this advantage, you can threaten a disadvantageous fight for the enemy team, leading to a free urn, a successful team fight, or both. Second scenario is when you're stronger than the enemy team and you want to force a fight. This is kind of similar to the other rule, but it's slightly riskier depending on the difference in strength between the teams. However, if you're behind, it's a slightly different story. With the comeback mechanic mentioned before, if the enemy team isn't paying attention, you can grab the urn and run it towards the more favourable drop-off location, where it's easier for your team to group and secure those juicy comeback souls. Pay attention to where the enemy team is focusing. If you can see 6 of them in a place not near the urn or the drop-off spot, try and be sneaky. Sometimes games do get really desperate, so you have to do whatever you can. If your team's all dead and you know they're doing mid-boss, try and sneak an urn in. This obviously isn't every time the urn should be delivered. Each game will have its nuances, but ultimately you want to rely on your game sense and personal experience to make a call. There's also a few sort of do's and don'ts I'd like to leave with you, which will hopefully make things a little bit more clear about doing the urn. So we'll start with don'ts. Don't just leave the urn after you've delivered it. Make sure you smack the floating souls with a few quick melees, or the sneaky haze is just going to chomp away at that 40%, rendering your hard work and efforts useless. Don't do urn whenever you just feel like it. Make sure you take the time to analyze the situation and communicate with your team. I've seen too many people crash out after seeing a hand-delivered urn to the enemy team. Also, don't ignore the urn, otherwise you're not going to be able to extend your lead as effectively or make a comeback as easily. This one only applies if you're 10% behind, but if the enemy team is strong enough to just barge into your side of the map, practice extreme caution or just don't do the urn altogether. As a side note, since this is a team game, if you're running the urn and your team isn't moving to the urn drop-off location, despite your myriad of comms and spam pings, don't do the urn. I know, your team's stupid, but most of the time it's not worth giving the enemy free souls. So on to the do's. Always assume the enemy team will send all their members to stop you from securing the urn. If they're not on the map, assume they're guarding the urn drop-off location. You should also remember that you can always drop the urn whenever the situation deems necessary, such as joining a team fight. Just don't drop the urn in a location the enemy can reach easily. Do use basic mathematics to know where the urn drop-off will be. Maybe maths in school wasn't so useless after all. Simply add a decimal point in front of the last number of the team with fewer souls. 150k becomes 15. Add that to the total souls, so 150k to 165k. And if the winning team has more souls than that, it'll spawn in the favourable position. Do urn if you've just won a team fight and you can't end the game. Usually this decision will be split between doing the urn and securing objectives such as flex flip, but oftentimes you can send one person to run the urn in the background to further extend your lead. I'll add a little asterisk to this point. If you're in the position to do mid-boss after winning a fight, that's probably going to be more important. Taking the urn after you grab the rejuvenator is somewhat easier, since it's a lot harder for the enemy team to contest as buffed minions will be pushing out their lanes. Remember, you can do urn to force a fight, as it lets you potentially close out games. If you're not contested, well, nobody's ever complained about having too many souls. Keep in mind, there's a few characters and item interactions that let you run the urn faster. Think Ivy ult, think Kelvin Ice Path, think Haze Invis. There's a few really good ones, so make sure to take advantage where you can. Alright. If you've been paying attention and taking notes, it's time for your reward. Here's some sneaky stuff that high level players are abusing with the urn. So the first trick, it's possible to set the urn's drop off location. If you're ever in a position where the net worth is within 10%, but you think you're going to start winning, you can pick up and immediately drop the urn to force the balanced drop off location. This does two things. It means that if the enemy team picks up the urn, they can't possibly benefit from the easier spawn. And instead of being hidden on the map, they're immediately revealed upon picking up the urn. This is a great way to deny potential comebacks since it forces an even urn that you can track the entire way across the map. The second trick, if you're holding the urn at a time where it would normally spawn, say 15 minutes, the next urn won't spawn. This means that the next urn time bracket, 15 to 1959, the position's going to stay even with an unchanged drop-off location. This can be repeated as long as you're holding the urn across the respawn time. It's a sneaky way to really punish. Thanks for watching, hope you've learned something useful. Would love it if you subbed, liked, left a comment, all that stuff, and came through to Twitch. See you in the next one.